Hello and welcome back to my channel. As I mentioned in my last video, a lot of our seasonal decor was lost in the move. One of our boxes full of all of our fall, autumn, Christmas, all of it is gone. So one thing that I wanted to do this season was work on replacing some of it. I don't anticipate being able to replace all of it, and I don't want to get things that are cheap. I want to get good stuff and build it over time. I also really prefer a more minimal decor, so I am working to keep things minimal. Moral of the story, I have decided to Needlefelt some pumpkins. I've done this before and I really enjoyed having it either on shelves or a table or mantle, whatever. So I have these little mini pumpkins. They're really quick. They take me like 15 minutes. So it's a nice little easy project that I can do that makes something beautiful that will last for a little while. I decided this season that I actually wanted to try to make a garland out of it. We have a really nice mantelpiece over our fireplace, which I've never had a full fireplace before, so I'm loving it. And I want to hang a garland of pumpkins and probably do some like leaves and then some candles. Again, kind of keep it simple, but something that celebrates the season a little bit more. Sorry, I think you can hear baby boy on the baby monitor. He's just grunting a little, but he's okay. Anyway, so not exactly tutorial, kind of a craft with me, but if you want to follow along to learn how to do it, or if you just want to craft with me, whatever floats your boat. What I'm going to do to start is I'm just going to peel away some orange, nice wool roving. Take a little bit here and I'm just going to kind of make a ball. And then I'm going to start wrapping some more fiber around the ball. I like it to be pretty loose, but I don't want there to be a lot of seams and lines. I want it to look seamless, I don't know, for lack of a better word. And I'm just gonna do some preemptive poking just to get it all knotted up so it doesn't fall apart as I'm working. I love living seasonally. I always have. Growing up, my mom used to decorate our house back before decorating for autumn was like really cool. My mom always decorated for autumn, but we are not a Halloween family. We're not like a spooky season kind of family. No disrespect, but it's not really my vibe. I'm not really into ghosts or ghouls or witches. I'm sure some of that is the Catholic in me, and some of it's just I don't like scary things. So I stick a lot with the pumpkin theme versus ghosts. If I do a jack-o'-lantern, it's a smiling jack-o'-lantern. But what I really like about autumn is just the celebration of change, harvest, celebrations. We've got Thanksgiving, which is great. I love autumnal food. Apple cider donuts, apple cider, pumpkin pie, apple pie, all of the pies. I love, I like turkey, but I love potatoes. So having a ton of potatoes. I remember for Thanksgiving, we used to have like 3 or 4 potato dishes. I didn't even eat turkey half the time. I just ate potatoes all day. Probably do one more layer to get this about the size I want. I'm doing it very loosely because, first of all, then I can have more pumpkins using less wool. If I do it really condensed, it takes up a lot more wool. I also kind of like that they're squishy. They can just kind of, then they can reform their shape really easily. It makes it easy to pack them. And I can kind of use them in between Christmas ornaments too when I'm storing for spring and summer. So I guess I just really like having decor that's minimal and that's gonna last for a while. I wanna be able to pull out something that I made, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and still use it and have it be not only beautiful for the change of seasons, but also for the memories of the time when I was making it. And then, you know, when my kids grow older and they're like, oh, it feels like home because we have all of the old decor that I grew up with. I like that. I like that idea a lot. So that's why I decided to make more decor versus buying more decor. As much as I love perusing Hobby Lobby, and I did get some stuff from Hobby Lobby, I'm not going to pretend like I didn't, but I don't want it to be too big. And another thing is I don't really like having a lot of clutter in the house. As my dad calls it, dustables. I don't want a bunch of stuff that I just have to clean and it just sits there and looks nice. And my house is intended to be functional. So like I would never decorate my coffee table because I use my coffee table every day. I will decorate a bookcase, but mostly it's just going to be books because that's what I need to store. I don't decorate bedrooms. I'll hang a wreath on the front door, you know, I'll decorate a mantelpiece because that's what a mantelpiece is for. You don't really use it to store stuff. So I'll decorate the mantelpiece. That's what this is for. I will do a centerpiece for our dining room table, but it needs to be functional, so it has to be contained. Because if it gets in the way of me being able to fold laundry, then we have an issue. So I'm doing just very simple, hopefully kind of rustic, but still, maybe elegant isn't the right word, but like nice versus, I don't know, excessive, and something that I can pack away into a single box versus trying to pack away into a million boxes, which I then have to move, and I don't want to have to move. Okay. I have a ball. It's very fluffy. It's not super tight, but it's got no lumps. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a top and just kind of put a little dimple. And then I'm going to do a bottom, little dimple, top and bottom. And then I'm just going to start doing lines. I usually do half an inch to an inch, might be excessive, probably half an inch apart, which is not realistic for pumpkins, but that's okay. It's a little bit more artsy and cute. So I'm just going to start doing that. Sorry, I stopped to pick up Max because he had started crying and I have absolutely no idea where I was or what I was talking about. So I'm just gonna kind of move forward. Other things that I love about autumn, I love the chill weather. I love especially the cool mornings, so you can sit out on your porch or your deck and drink a hot cup of coffee. And in summer you drink a hot cup of coffee in the hot summer and it's just not quite as enjoyable as on a nice cool day. I love the smell of autumn, the smell of the leaves. I love mushrooms. I love hiking in autumn. I love hiking every season. There's no season I don't love hiking, but I especially love hiking in autumn because it's not quite so hot that you're dying, but it's not snowy. I don't love navigating snow. And it's just crisp and beautiful, and I just love the change, I guess, too. Other things I love. Did I already mention apple pie? I love freshly made apple pie. I like pumpkin pie, but I love apple pie. And then I like watching Gilmore Girls every fall. But I guess I kind of watch Gilmore Girls year round. It's just better in the fall. You've Got Mail, When Harry Met Sally. There are other good fall movies. I really, like I said, I don't really do Halloween, so I don't really watch scary movies or like Halloween Town, Hocus Pocus. I'll watch them sometimes, but not that often. So I did initial indents to mark where I want them, and now I'm just gonna go over it again, make them a little bit deeper and more pronounced with I'm using my smallest needle right now. I have a thicker one. I'm using the smallest needle for the lines. I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos on ways to celebrate the season, just because I think that that's fun. And I've noticed that a lot of it is about like reading the fall books, which I love that idea. I usually just read books. I don't usually aim for autumnal books. But I noticed that a lot of the autumnal books are really focused on the Halloween kind of, there's a lot of witch books out right now. And there's a lot of romances, and I don't really care for romances. I love a good fantasy book, which is probably as Halloween-y as I'll get. But you gotta be careful these days because a lot of fantasy books are romances, and I'm just not here for that. So I've been thinking about rereading Lord of the Rings. I haven't read that since high school, and I wouldn't mind rereading that. Although I don't know why, but Lord of the Rings feels like winter. So I might wait. I also feel like Narnia is very winter for obvious reasons. So I might reread that one in the winter. But I was thinking a good C.S. Lewis book that is very Halloween. Well, a good C.S. Lewis book that is very All Souls Day is the Screwtape Letters. So I think I might read. Okay, so I'm gonna. I've got my lines nice and deep, and I'm just gonna go through and fix any lumps or bumps that I don't want or don't like. Make sure it's all clean and tidy. Yeah, I think I might reread the Screwtape Letters. It's always good to have a little memento mori. Remember your death. Live with the knowledge of death in mind. So I'll do that, and then I don't know what else I would read that would be autumnal for me, since I don't really do Halloween. I was actually thinking about reading Practical Magic though, because I remember watching the movie with Sandra Bullock and really liking it, but I don't actually remember what it's about. But again, I don't really like witch books. I think the only real world focused witchcraft that has entertained me without making me mildly uncomfortable is Harry Potter. Well, and Harry Dresden. So I might just stick with kind of general fantasy. I like good, lighthearted books. I'm reading a lot now because of breastfeeding, so I don't want it to be anything that's too intense focus-wise, because I'll read it like, at 1 in the morning when baby boy needs to eat, and I want to make sure it keeps me awake instead of helping to put me to sleep. Okay, so this is looking nice and clean. I am going to grab a little bit of green. You really don't need a lot. And I'm just gonna fold it in half, like so. And then the top, third, I'm gonna make into I guess it's a column technically. Constantly rotating it so it doesn't turn out flat. I want it to turn out cylindrical. That's the term I want. And then once I have the nice cylinder up top and I've got all of this loose stuff at the bottom, I'm gonna kind of spread this out. And that's what I'm gonna use to attach it to the pumpkin body, I suppose. I'm just gonna kind of stick it down and poke. I want it to kind of look like a real pumpkin would, where the vine, where the pumpkin attaches to the vine, it spreads out. So I want it to spread out just a bit up top. And then sometimes I'll leave a little bit extra trailing down the side to make it look like there's a little bit more vine coming down, or maybe there's like a leaf there. Again, it's the artistic representation of a pumpkin, not a fully accurate pumpkin. So I'm just kind of stabbing the green down into the orange. I might tidy this up a bit. Making sure it's all nice and clean. And there we have it. A little pumpkin. And that took what? 15 minutes? A little bit longer, maybe? But still, super quick, super easy. It's great for doing during quick naps or other rest periods. Thank you for watching to the end and for crafting along with me. If you decide to make pumpkins, have fun. I hope that this helped. And if you're working on something else, good luck.